What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers and Zach Lavine are kind of heading in the same direction. Based on numerous reports, it seems like that's the most likely outcome, that the Lakers are going to end up landing Zach Lavine. So basically, based on, again, reports, we'll see how it all shapes up. But based on the information that is out there right now, it looks like Chicago's plan: trade Zach Lavine, and then based on the return for Zach Lavine and then the pieces that they currently have, see what that team looks like. And if it's still not looking good, start the fire sale. So DeMar DeRozan has expressed that he wants to continue to stay with Chicago, that he would like to finish his career there. He reiterated that in a recent interview. And then the Chicago Bulls, they've been playing a lot better without Zach Lavine. And so it's kind of like, okay, if we unload Zach Lavine, then we kind of fix some of this clunkiness. Maybe we can trade him to Lakers, get like a D'Lo, a Rui, and, a Gabe Vincent or something like that. That would give us some real point guards to kind of make plays and help us in that regard. Kind of balance out the roster better. Maybe we have a starting five of like D'Lo, DeRozan, Williams, Rui, and Vu, and we can see what that looks like. And if that doesn't work, then maybe we just trade everyone that we can trade and just see what return we can get and hit that reset button, right? One of the things, though, is that the market for the Chicago Bulls is incredibly thin for Zach Lavine. I mean, there are people reporting that Zach Lavine has no market, that nobody is interested in trading for Zach Lavine, that the Lakers have interest, and there are a couple teams that have kind of thought about it, but aren't really serious about potentially trading for Zach Lavine. And the reason this is good is this just gives the Lakers a ton of leverage. Because if the Lakers are the only team interested in trading for Zach Lavine, then that basically puts the Lakers in the driver's seat. Because now it's like, why would we give you a first? Why would we give you what you want? Yes, we're going to have to match salary. So you're going to get a D'Lo, you're going to get a Rui, you're going to get Gabe Vincent or whatever, right? But we want other things. We want a Zach Lavine and we want an Andre Drummond. Maybe you get a Torrey Craig. I mean, I'd like to get like an Alex Caruso or something. And maybe that's like your leverage point, right? Maybe you're like, hey, we don't want to trade Alex Caruso. It's like, well, we don't want to give you a first and we're not going to, right? So you can either unload Zach Lavine or you can keep him and then just wait this out and then see what happens. And what, are you just going to sit Zach Lavine for the rest of the season and next year or whatever? And then what? Then you're going to come back and want to trade with us? And who's to say we have the pieces that you need or the money to match to trade for him? Or who's to say we need him at that point? At that point, you might not be able to trade him. So what? You just going to buy him out? You're going to stretch him? Like what's your plan? Right? So it could put the Lakers in a position to where it's like, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll give you a first round pick, but we want Alex Caruso. So you give us Zach Lavine, Alex Caruso, and Andre Drummond. We'll give you whatever salary we have to give you to match that, and we'll give you the first round pick. And now the Lakers just basically got everything they need, and they're probably the best team in the league. Right? So that really puts the Lakers in a optimal position, in my opinion, for any type of Zach Lavine trade. Because again, the higher the demand, the less likely it is that the Lakers are going to acquire him. Right? The Lakers are very limited in the amount of assets that they have to trade. So that's why, there's talks about Donovan Mitchell potentially becoming available. The Lakers have no shot at Donovan Mitchell because there's so many teams that would be interested in trading for Donovan Mitchell. And the Lakers have one first round pick, a pick swap, and then a couple seconds. Where you have a team like the Thunder or the Knicks who wanted him, or even Brooklyn, who they have a treasure trove of draft picks. They have talent, they have everything, right? We just can't compete. But somebody like a Zach Lavine, who's making $40 million, who is a very specific type of player, right? And how many teams, if any, actually need a Zach Lavine, right? Most teams have their athletic guard, right? Like outside of like Miami and the Lakers, I don't think there's another team that would be interested in Zach Lavine. And Miami, like they're almost better off waiting than just tying up all their money in a Zach Lavine. Where the Lakers, they have Anthony Davis, you have LeBron James, and you have several guys under contract for the next few years. Even after you do the trade for Zach Lavine, you'd still have plenty of depth, plenty of pieces, plenty of everything, right? You'd be in great shape. But like, look at the top teams, right? So you look at the West. The Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards. The Nuggets have Jamal Murray. The Thunder have SGA. The Mavericks have Kyrie Irving. The Kings have De'Aaron Fox. Right? Phoenix can't trade for him. The Warriors, it makes no sense. Pelicans, maybe they trade for Zach Lavine, but like, is he really that much of an upgrade over CJ McCollum? Right? So it's just like, I don't really see something like that happening. And then Zach Lavine's not going to want to go to some tanking team or some, bottom feeding team. Okay, so like look at the East, right? The Sixers, they have Tyrese Maxey. I don't think Zach Lavine makes any sense. Maybe the Sixers trade for him, but that doesn't make any logical sense to me with Tyrese Maxey. I think Maxey and Lavine kind of neutralize each other and become redundant. The Knicks have Jalen Brunson, right? The Pacers, they need a wing. They don't need another scoring guard. The Magic don't need him. The Bucks have Damian Lillard, and the Boston Celtics have Derek White and Drew Holiday, right? And then they have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and all that. Like, what team would need Zach Lavine? Again, Miami makes sense. Maybe the Nets, but they're in position to go get Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell had the Nets on his list of teams. So Brooklyn could easily go and trade for Donovan Mitchell. So they're not going to go and trade for Zach Lavine. They're going to be patient. So outside of maybe Miami, the Lakers are the destination. So if the Lakers are the only team interested in trading for Zach Lavine, then the Lakers hold all the cards because they don't have to trade for him, right? Like, you could look at it like last year. The Lakers were in desperation mode. The Lakers had no chance unless they did a trade, right? So they were at the mercy of some of these teams. And like even Kyrie, they did offer everything. The only reason the Lakers didn't get Kyrie Irving is because Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, said, I refuse to trade him where he wants to go. So they traded him to the next best package, which was Dallas. And Dallas only traded for Kyrie because one, yes, they gave them a running mate alongside Luka Doncic, but there was a big question mark with Kyrie Irving, and their logic was, okay, if it doesn't work, we can just let Kyrie go, and then we have a max salary, or we can kind of try to make this work, and ultimately they decided to make it work. And some people might think, well, okay, what's different between that and this? Maybe somebody else becomes available, right? Again, what other team needs that? And I understand Zach Lavine is on a long-term contract, so he doesn't really have much say. But he's not like the Dallas Mavericks were a team that was desperate as well, right? There were all the rumors and talk about, oh, Luka's getting antsy, he's getting unhappy. They got to get him another star. If they don't, Luka could be asking out. Right? Luka can end up leaving. So they had to do something to kind of like smooth things over. And then on top of that, it's like Zach Lavine is making $40 million. Right? Like Kyrie, he was an expiring contract. So it was like if he came in and he was a headache or he was a mess, you just let him go. You also, as the team that trades for him, have all the power because he's not going to go to the Lakers for a vet minimum. So he's going to re-sign with you, which means then you'd have that control, right? So like, it's just a completely different situation. Now, I'm still of the camp where I would prefer DeMar DeRozan just because of salary purposes. I think Zach Lavine is more dynamic. I think the ceiling with Zach Lavine for the Lakers is a lot higher than the Lakers with DeMar DeRozan, but I think the floor with DeMar DeRozan is a lot higher than the floor with Zach Lavine, if that makes sense. Like if Zach Lavine works out exactly the way we think he will, then you're talking about probably the best team in the league, right? And I do think with either of them, they can win a championship. But I just think Zach Lavine's much more dynamic, right? He's more versatile. He's more athletic. He applies better rim pressure. And one of the things the Lakers need desperately is an athletic guard. They don't have that. So Zach Lavine solves that. DeMar doesn't solve that. But DeMar is more consistent. He's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. He's also more clutch. He's not afraid of the moment, right? But LeBron's been so clutch this year that I think you could get away with Zach Lavine. But look, either of these guys are perfect. Either of these guys solve a lot of the Lakers' issues and solve a lot of the Lakers' problems. And that's why I think a deal needs to get done. But the Lakers just, in my opinion, the Lakers have a world of leverage when it comes to the Zach Lavine trade. Because, again, assuming the reports are true, I don't know for a fact. I'm just a fan. I'm not some insider. I'm not Woj or anything like that where I'm talking to Zach Lavine directly, right? Or I'm talking to the Bulls directly. No, I'm just going off of the information that we have. And if the information that we have is true, then if you're the Lakers, you're doing Chicago a huge solid. That should cost something. Whether it's, they're throwing in some picks or you're not giving up picks or whatever. And look, Rob Pelinka has shown time and time again that he's a master at this stuff. So I trust him to get it done. I believe in him. And but anyway, as always, this is a discussion. So I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think look, he is Zach Lavine, go get him. Lakers are in great shape. That's what we needed. Go get a Zach Lavine. Lakers have all the leverage. Let's make it happen. Or do you think, no, Lakers still don't have leverage because Chicago doesn't have to trade him either, which is true. They don't. I think that they are desperate enough that they do. I genuinely do. I think that they are desperate enough to where they got to trade him. Because what are you going to do? You're going to bring him back now? And he's not been the best, attitude guy. There's been questions about him and DeMar DeRozan and them having conflicts. He's had conflicts with the organization. Do you really want that mess for a team that you're trying to turn it around? I just don't see it. But anyway, again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.